It's the 17th of March, and down on the micro orchard here, and I've just been over to Ken with me, over on my old allotment site, Varieties rotavator. This is the only bit, this potato patch really, and leeks and cabbage that I rotovate, as you know. All the rest I do is no dig, but I haven't got enough compost or straw to do no dig spud, so that's why I rotovate it. I've had plastic on this over the winter, so you can see I took it off yesterday, and you can see how efficient it is at blocking weeds. You know, there was hardly a single weed at all. So I'm going to get it turned over and I'll come back to you. Alright, there we are guys, all done. I think it took about 20 minutes or so, so it certainly takes the back-breaking donkey word out of digging it by hand. And like I say, there's hardly any weed at all, you know, just a little bit there. So now I'm not going to plant my spuds just yet, but I wanted to get it turned over so it can just dry out. We've got some good periods of dry weather at the moment, and it's looking like the rest of March is potentially going to be fairly dry, not much rain, so it'll dry it out. Then I've got 3 different lots of spuds again, same as last year: Rocket, Nicola and Sarpa Myra. And then hopefully there'll be a room for a row of cabbage, and then as my first earlies come out, I always plant my leeks immediately. As soon as the first early come out, they follow, which I've just sowed those yesterday in fact. I'm a little bit late with them this year. Anyway, just more of an update. So I've got all the logs cut up, as you can see, so we got that bay filled, so that's good. So that takes us to about another 2 winters ahead. In fact, we put some over there because we had a bit, you know, there was too many to go in that bay, so the rest of it we've just put it under there. And let's have a look. So I finally got the old pink bed dug out as well. I've been pretty busy just recently. So what I've done here is I've sowed grass seed. I've just put this wire down to try and stop cats scratching about in it, because they are a bit of a nuisance, you know. So hopefully that'll get going, and then, you know, it'll just be easy, a lot easier to maintain. And like I say, I've got to come round and start just cutting a circle of grass away from these trees, and I can put some general fertiliser on them and give them a feed. So that's pretty much. I'll just show you my homemade compost. I actually put it onto this rhubarb because it's looking a bit sort of starved really. So I'll put it on there anyway. We'll see what happens. And then just walking down here, I sowed some more grass seed here. I'm just gradually trying to get rid of the old carpet. Now I know it's very stony and everything, but even if you just get a rough grass cover, you know, it'll do. And the other thing I was doing yesterday, I came down. I was trying to clean this hedge out a wee bit. So these are mostly, well, that's damson, so there's about 1, 2, 3, there's 4, 5 damson and then 2 hazel in this bottom bit. And I was getting a load of like grass growing, so I was trying to clear that out. So I've got rid of most of it. I just don't want it to be taken over until, you know, the hedge is kind of really thickened up quite a lot. Then once it gets thick, it should shield the light out beneath, and then hopefully that will minimise the amount of grass growing. But it's looking pretty well. I mean, when you look upon it, you know, that hazel now, that must be 7 or 8 foot. So it's really going to prove a very useful food hedge and a windbreak at the same time. Well, I'll take the rotavator back to Ken's and get it all cleaned off, and then it's home for a bit of dinner. So catch you later. Alright guys, 21st of Feb, another little update here. So I mentioned a repair, so it was just really simply I bashed out a little right angle bracket there, and because this post has gone rotten behind here, so I just tied those two together, so that's that one sorted. And then walking across to as I say, my intention is to try and get some cheeky curry squash growing vertically, well, you know what I mean, along that trellis there. And what had happened was, as is so common, even though I did paint them with stuff to try and prevent rot, it has rotted off down below. So I just got a piece of right angled angle iron, and yeah, just some washers and screws, and nice steady job now. That'll be support anything on there, no problem at all. Let me just show you some of the blossom here starting to, it won't be long now, blossom buds on the pear tree here. It looks to be a good lot of blossom if we get decent weather, you know. So I'm going to be really keen to see how this fruits this year. Incidentally, there's a cleft graft. This one here is Selena pear sent to me by a friend of mine, Helen, over in Norway, and you can see it's so, you know, fingers crossed we might even get a Selena pear. That'll be 3 varieties of pear if we do. So I'm hoping for that. And then you can see the plum tree here. It won't be long before that blossom comes out. It looks as though we could have quite a reasonable set of blossom on. Just hope the weather doesn't deteriorate to the point where there's no bees flying around, you know. That's always the concern this time of year, isn't it? And then finally the damson. It's a similar story. You can see here, in fact that's almost, I think in another few days that's going to be out. And again, it's carrying quite a good lot of blossom buds, so fingers crossed we just get some decent weather. 22nd of March guys, back down on the micro orchard, so another little update. Today I've got a gooseberry and a blackcurrant, or the other way around, to go in this bed here. So I'm just going to remove these bricks, take off this black polythene. I've just got some ground fabric, so I'm going to plant them through that. So I'll come back to you. So once again, just showing how effective plastic can be to cover your soil. You know, apart from there's a little bit of moss, but apart from that, there's not a single weed on there. Interestingly, it looks like there's one of those corms off elephant garlic has sprouted. So I'm going to dig that up and plant it in my row there. And I think that might be one there as well. So I'll transplant those, and I'm just going to rake this over, and then we'll cut some of the landscape fabric. Right guys, so I've got the fabric down. I've spaced out plants roughly. I'm allocating them quite a lot of room, as you can see. So I'm on just the 2 plants on here. Luckily I had some old landscape fabric pegs, which is nice. And just talking about that fabric, I picked this up at Aldi this morning, and it says it's made from 100% polypropylene, thermally bonded. Now it's a little bit different. I'll just show you what I mean. Well, this is the other example of the stuff, and you can see that it's really notorious for fraying on the edges, and then you get all this, you know, stuff like this. It's pretty bad. So I'm hoping that other stuff won't do it. If you've any experience of using it, let me know. Drop me a comment down below. So all I'm going to do now is just mark it, make a slit like a cross in the fabric, fold it underneath, dig out the hole. I've got some NPK general fertiliser, I'll put a handful of that in, and then we'll just make sure the planting depth is right and get it in. There we go guys, job done. I've watered them in. I say they've had some NPK, grow more. fed and watered, so hopefully they'll do well. I think that one was Hinnonmaki yellow. These plants were gifted by Thompson and Morgan a year or two back, so I'm pretty sure that's Hinnonmaki yellow. I can't remember this blackcurrant. I'll try and dig out the variety and put it in the description below for you. So I've got a bucket, well, nearly a full bucket of soil from digging the holes, but that's not a problem. I'll just throw it onto the spud patch there, and that's the end of that. As always, thanks very much for watching. Please do hit the like button, drop a comment down below and hit that subscribe button. I'd really appreciate it. See you in the next one. Bye for now.